You can be a fantastic personal trainer. You can have lots of certifications and accreditations and experience and all of that stuff. But if you don't have a strong digital presence in 2020, you're gonna see people with half the skill level and half the talent of you surpass you and build strong digital online communities that they can monetize. The fact of the matter is though, not all of us can spend a lot of money on our digital marketing. But if you're one of those people who has been trying to improve your digital presence, we're gonna help you today because I'm gonna show you how to film a broadcast quality fitness video with your phone, and it starts right now. Something that bothers me a lot in the digital space as far as health and fitness goes is I often see people with loads of talent, loads of experience, a ton of certifications, and so much information fall flat on their face when it comes to communication online. You know, I do a lot of work in the YouTube space when it comes to health and fitness, and I see a lot of workout channels out there, and when you can get past the horrible production quality of some of these workouts, you can see really good workouts. But the fact is that, you know, the average viewer, they are going to judge you on production quality, whether you like it or not, unless they are a diehard fan of yours. So with that being said, if you're one of those trainers who's been experiencing those difficulties trying to affordably, you know, shoot media and shoot content so you can brand yourself online, that's gonna change today because by the time you are done watching this, you're gonna know how to shoot a broadcast quality fitness video using nothing more than your telephone. All right, so first things first, we're gonna basically go through the equipment that I'm gonna use today. Obviously, being in a production studio, I have access to a lot of equipment that the average person wouldn't have at home. So I'm gonna try and stick to things that hopefully you already have with a few recommendations of things that are fairly inexpensive that I would suggest you would have that would definitely make a big difference in the overall quality. I should preface by saying that this video is not meant to be a way to hack a professional looking video. This is a way, it still requires work, it still requires some items, but we're gonna keep it as inexpensive as possible, as efficient as possible, so it doesn't intrude with your daily life, with your actual career, but still allows you to create a good online presence with whatever your content is, if it's workout videos in this case. This is what we're doing. So, there's things that I'll be doing today that you may not want to do. For example, I'm going to set up a 2-camera shoot. And what I'm going to use for my 2 cameras are a Samsung S8 and a GoPro. So I mean, everybody's got a cell phone already, so I'm not even going to include that as an expense. Most people at this point have smartphones. Most smartphones have pretty decent video capabilities. So camera 1 is set. Second thing I'm gonna use, because I have it here, is a GoPro. Some people have GoPros, some people might have like a DSLR camera. This is like a Canon Rebel. You can find these for $250, $300 online. And surprisingly, I've used this for videos in the past, years ago, and it has a very nice, rich color to it and a very clear picture. It doesn't do 4K video, but it's still good. But again, in this case, I'm gonna use the GoPro and the phone. You can use just your phone, you can use your phone in a DSLR. The only thing you might run into is the colors might not gel that well when it comes to trying to balance it out in editing, which we will get to. But don't worry about that because you're still gonna be 50 times farther ahead than you were previously. Tripod. This is a Manfrotto lightweight tripod. I use it for traveling. I do shoots cross-border in the US, and obviously going by myself, I don't like to carry big clunky tripods and big cameras and stuff. I have a travel kit. This is part of it. This is $169 on Amazon. If you don't have a tripod, you wanted something lightweight, these are very good quality, very fluid tripods, quite nice value for what you're paying. If this is more than you want to pay for a tripod, there are alternatives out there. There's a company, Neewer, that I'll have the information and some links below as well. They do a lot of lower priced kind of knockoff versions of things like this. And I think they have a tripod very similar to this that starts at $89. I do have a couple of newer items that I use for traveling, mainly because I don't want to take really expensive items and throw it in a suitcase and have it get wrecked by customs officers and all that. So, but I think they have a tripod that starts at like $89. It's another option for you. I can't vouch for the quality, but I do have some newer stuff and it's all right. So this is gonna set up my master camera. What I also have is this cell phone stand. This is like $29 on Amazon. Again, links are gonna be below. For now, I don't need this little GorillaPod. I just need this part here. And if you buy a tripod, it's gonna come with a mounting plate. So you're gonna take this, screw this onto the mounting plate. This has holes on the bottom and on the side, but obviously we want to set it up for perpendicular filming to give it that look that'll look like TV. So this basically just slides in there, you tighten it, and that's where your phone's going to go. And it'll allow you to set up your shot. Actually, I'm going to shoot in this direction, but I'll get to that later. So there's your camera one. Now, my second camera, which again is the optional camera, is my GoPro. First off, the reason I'm doing a second camera is there's a few reasons. Number one, it's just nice to change angles once in a while. It doesn't have to be something you're bouncing back and forth. Even a quick side shot just for creativity can kind of just give it that nice look and feel. It's not a necessity, particularly with workout videos, because workout videos are tutorial style, people are following you. But it is something nice to have, and it's not that difficult to do, pending you have the space to do it. So what I'm gonna do for this here is an item that's, if I'm not mistaken, it's $120 on Amazon, and it's a 120 centimeter slider. It's made by that company Neewer that does some of the lower priced items. And what it basically does is it allows you to add some motion to your shot. Now, again, if you're doing all this by yourself, this is completely irrelevant to you. But what I'm gonna do, just to show you how easy it can be, is when I actually shoot the video with this equipment, my 10-year-old daughter is going to actually control this part. Just to show you that even a child could run this, and it looks really, really nice in terms of just adding a little bit of, I don't know, pizzazz to your shot. So, so this is an accessory. It didn't come with my GoPro, but I got it. I think it was at Best Buy, and it was like 10 or 12 different accessories, all for GoPros. And I think the whole kit was like $25. And it was a good buy. It had like just a bunch of little stuff. So, and they're all over Amazon, and they're all cheap on there too. So I'll demonstrate more of how this looks later. I'll probably actually insert a shot of this to show you how it's gonna look right now. But as you can see, it adds a whole dimension to your shot. You can have it set up, whether it be on the counter, on the floor, and as you're working, basically it's just a nice smooth pan across. And usually when you set these up, you're gonna put it on a little bit of an angle, so even as it's coming across, it's either pulling away or it's also getting a little bit closer to you. But as I said, you'll see how this looks when we start putting it together later. So there's my camera too. So with the GoPros, this is a Hero 6, and you can get these refurbished on Amazon now for I think it's like $350. There's also a ton of knockoff action cameras, which are pretty decent, some of them. And I've seen them under $100 on Amazon. So again, I'll put some links below that you can check out. So that is an option if you don't have that secondary camera, but you want to try and use it. As far as mounting this on here, this mounts the exact same way as this would mount. This has a hole underneath. same as that was. You could just screw it in. So even if you have a DSLR, you could set this up the same way on there and use it for the same purpose. So it's an option as well. I personally recommend the 2-camera shoot if you're able to pull it off, because it allows you to cut away from different shots. If you make a mistake on camera, you can cut to your other shot, you can hide things. You know, this is pending you learning a little bit of editing skills, but this is going to be a part of it that we'll get to as well. So both of these cameras have the capability of shooting 4K, so I'm going to shoot 4K. Particularly if you're just using your cell phone, I would recommend if your phone has 4K capabilities, use the 4K, because when you're editing, you have the ability to punch in. You can zoom in your shots without losing the quality of the shot. It's not going to get blurry or anything like that. And that just allows you, again, if you don't have access or just don't feel like getting into this level of stuff, you can still move your shot around. Like, you know, you get your nice wide shot, maybe you head to the floor to do crunches or something, and you can zoom in and you can bring it up a little bit so it's a little bit tighter shot of you. Up to you. Now, probably most importantly, and something I see that's really bad, is sound. And when you're parked 10, 12 feet across a room, because usually you have to give yourself enough space that your entire body's on camera, plus you need that live working space of, you know, whether your arms are out, whether you're lying across the floor. Yelling across the room at your camera and the echoes of whatever kind of room you're in, if it's a laminate floor or cement floor, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good, it doesn't sound good. It's just a bad idea. So what I'm gonna use is an H6 Zoom. These are great sound recorders. There's different ways to do it. Like right now, for example, I have a wireless mic on, so my audio is pretty clear, even though the camera is about 15 feet away from me. This you could put, and you could literally set it beside you on the mat, and it will pick up your sound as you're going, if you're talking to people. So at least it's clear. Then you would just add this to your video when you're editing it later. That's a little more expensive. It's a dated one. This is a few years old now, but Zoom has different levels of recorders. I know there's a Zoom H1, which is $145. There's also a Zoom digital multi-track recorder, which is, it's $230, and it's like a pocket thing. It's got the microphone that you can set up for perfect sound, and then it plugs into this little tiny recorder, which is it's not a lot bigger than this pen even, and it can just go in your pocket. So you're basically fully wired for sound, and it's recording your sound. You can add it in later. You just basically synchronize it when you start with a hand clap or whatever you need to do, and you're good to go. So you've got perfect sound, and I can't stress enough, and this is something I learned over time too, that good sound improves everything. It just improves the visual, and it improves the connection between you and the person at home who's doing your workouts. So highly recommend picking up something for sound. The alternative to that, if you don't want to do that, is to not talk. I see people sometimes that, I mean, again, telephones have pretty good audio recorders. So if you were to start your video with, say, a selfie video, hey guys, we're gonna do such and such video today, you could do that, and then you could basically start your video with switch shots, and during the video, maybe it's just laid out to music, and the exercises are written on screen, and you're not saying too much. So that's another option as well. So this is my setup for today. Again, all things in. Again, I don't include this cell phone in the price because you've already got a cell phone, I'm assuming. But even on the low end of all this stuff, you're probably looking at about $400 investment, which would give you full 2-camera shoot, nice solid tripod, good quality sound, and a second camera that actually has motion. That adds a little bit of imagination to your shots. So, but everything I'm saying right now is just hearsay. Let's actually get to the workout so you can actually see firsthand how this is gonna look.